Hi, this is your girl Felicia, and I am back. I'm here now talking to you from my Facebook page's prayer wall under the focus for the week. I started out talking about wisdom. That was what I wanted to talk about. And so I kind of just read you the 34th chapter of Ecclesiastes, which is translated in a more practical way for you to understand in the New Revised Standard Version with the Apocrypha, or they would call it the Apocrypha, which are books of the Bible that have been stored in the Vatican through the centuries that the uh, the translators or writers of the King James Bible felt were not appropriate to put in the Bible because it wasn't the new teaching of the day, so to speak. And I didn't want to just leave you, just dangling there with what could all be meant or thought or interpreted about that particular verse because it deals with dreams in the very first verse of that chapter. So if you would look over on which if you would look over into the 33rd chapter, it gives you a little bit of definition and description of that first verse in the 34th chapter, where it says, "The senseless have vain and false hopes, and dreams give wings to fools." And in the second verse, "As one who catches at a shadow and pursues the wind," which you can't catch the wind and you can't catch your shadow, "so is anyone who believes in dreams." Saying so is one who believes in dreams. It's like one who's chasing and catching after the wind, something you can't obtain or achieve or you can never hold down, so to say. But it's also saying in that of fools. Now, if you go to the 33rd chapter, it tells you in verse 3 what is the Bible describing as a fool. Let me say this first. It's not known who wrote the book of Ecclesiastes. It is presumed from the writings and the research that it was either the son of Solomon or it was a poor person in that day who had a lot of wisdom and was teaching to a group of people, not Jesus, but learners of the day. And he was imparting wisdom to them as scholars. So it's not known who was doing the teaching or the translation here of the revelation of this wisdom. But this person was purposed with the intent that they believe and strongly affirmed the belief in God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the father of his son, Jesus Christ, who at the time was not born when this book of the Bible was written. So this person of wisdom describes the fool as the senseless person will trust in the... Wait a minute, let me take that back. Let me step back a little bit. It says, "The heart of a fool," this is verse 5, "the heart of a fool is like a cartwheel, and his thoughts like a turning axle." Now, an axle on your car, it's the rod. It's the rod that holds your wheel frame together. And a cart on a wheel, I take that to mean your heart is fixed, it's set. A fool's heart is fixed, it's set. It's your emotions, it's your motivation, it's your intent. But with your thoughts, your thoughts can change, your mind can change. Your thoughts aren't as fixed as your heart, as your emotions are fixed. If you're offended, it's fixed in your heart. If you're happy about something, someone, then it's fixed in your heart. And so your thoughts turn on that axle. Just imagine the heart, okay? And in that heart are all of these emotions that are connected to a rod, an axle, and it's turning. Your heart is fixed, it's turning. The wheel on a cart has little spikes and prongs that hold it together. It's a circle and it goes in one direction. So the heart is fixed, it's in one direction. The state of that heart is set. Whereas the mind, everything is in different places, different compartments, different thoughts, and they can be changed. But once that axle is broken, see, so you it's easier to break the thoughts of the mind than it is to what? Break the intent of the heart. So once an axle is broken on the wheel frame, the wheel's not going to move anymore. It's broken. It's done for. So it has to be fixed in order to get that rotation again. And so that's what he was doing, an analogy, a symbolism between a wheel and the axle and your mind, your thoughts, and the emotion or the state of being of your heart, your emotions. So, in other words, a fool has senseless thoughts and will take senseless actions. And because of that, if he has a dream that tells him, that shows him being victorious over someone who has offended him, he may get up and take that as confirmation. He can go now and approach that person in a very wrongful way, and then he'll come back and have a beatdown. And the dream didn't show him that the end of that was a beatdown. Well, what did he do? He put some wings, a mode of transportation on himself, and took flight to go and get his own justification, and it was improper justification. And in doing so, he ends up destroying himself. And so this is what the person of wisdom is talking about in 34, about a fool having dream and taking flight. In other words, he's also telling us further down in the passage that dreams are purposeful and have use to us. However, the dreams that are divine and that have come from God, those dreams. So we live in a world where we do have dreams. God uses dreams to inspire us, to encourage us, to give us information, to foretell even in the future. You know, a lot of prophets prophesy about things to come, not because they were sitting in one spot and had a vision like John the Baptist may have, but because they had a dream and they were able, through the revelation of the Holy Spirit, to be anointed at that time to interpret what that dream meant and giving them instructions on what to do. But in the heart and the mind of a fool, a dream can be a dangerous thing. So let's be very practical and commonsensical about what is being said in these books of the Bible, and as I am sharing them with you. So let's just not get all cocky about stuff and take things out of context or have my intent to be wrong in some kind of way. So there are just some things you just can't handle, that you just have to leave it to faith and to studying the Word to get that understanding. And there are some areas, that I just wouldn't even touch or try to go into. That's for the more scholarly person of the Word that has a grip and experience of doing that. And giving that type of instruction to you. But on this practical level that I'm sharing with you, I just want to be sure that I'm clear and correct on what is meant by, dreams. People are having dreams and they pass away, what the person says, because I don't consider the Bible to be wrong or erred. And you can see why a translation like this would not have been in the King James Bible when it was written so many hundreds of years ago. So even now, it's difficult to find commentary on this 34th verse of the Sirach. There's a little commentary. It skips over that. People are still apparently having difficulty receiving what is being said in this first verse, that the senseless have vain and false hopes, and dreams give wings to fools. As one who catches at a shadow and pursues the wind, so is anyone who believes in dreams. Now, anyone who believes in dreams may be a more stronger sense of speaking about dreams. But again, we have to use discernment and interpretation on the emphasis of what it is the writer was trying to convey to us. And the writer was speaking of those with the spirit of a fool and senseless thoughts. And he lets us know that further down in let's see, in verse 6, it says, unless they are sent by intervention from the Most High, pay no attention to them. So here's the distinction right here. There are dreams that we have that are instructions from God, that are encouragement from God, and then there are those dreams where your doctor will tell you you had that dream because you ate cabbage at 11 o'clock last night, and that's why you had that dream. You have dreams where your psychiatrist or a counselor or someone in that area may say you had that dream because it was something that you did and it had a certain type of effect on you before you laid down and went to sleep. Somewhere it was in your subconscious or what have you. And I don't believe that it was some type of intervention or divine message to you from God. But it had more to do with your activity through the course of the day. So we have those kinds of dreams too. And this is exactly what the person who wrote this book was making a distinction about. So you have fools with dreams who will become reckless in the end. And then you have those who have divine dreams and divine purposes for dreams that they have. We can even consider saying a dream is a goal. You may have a goal to be an actor, a comedian, a lawyer. You just know without a shadow of a doubt God showed you that you're going to be a veterinarian one day. You're going to be a missionary one day. You're going to travel to this place or that place. That is your divine purpose, and that dream may very well materialize, but you have to do the implementation of it and follow the right steps and the right instructions that were given. But if you're operating as that mind and as that heart that is like a wheel on a cart and a turning axle, then you're behaving in the mind and the heart of a senseless fool. So this is your girl Felicia P. Johnson, and if you have any comments that you'd like to make, please feel free. Like I said, I don't consider myself to be any special person in the at the word. I'm just an encourager and just sharing liberally with you, and feel free to say what you need to say, but I just want you to read this for yourself and gain some understanding. I'm doing the same as I'm telling you to do. and or asking you to do. Can't tell anyone what to do, but asking you to consider learning along with me. So God bless you. You take care, and I wish you well throughout the rest of the week. Please look at the other videos and gain some insight from them as well. Don't forget to check out part 2 of Clearing Bad Air.